Is it just me, or are Yeezys getting boring? What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler, and today I'm talking about the future of the Yeezy line and whether Yeezys have gotten stale over time. I'm sure by this point you've noticed that the hype and the resale prices of the Yeezy line have really taken a nosedive over the last couple years. And not only that, we've also started to have a lot more frequent Yeezy releases. A couple years ago, you'd get a Yeezy release maybe every couple months. Now we seem to be getting one almost every other weekend. So why is the hype behind this once extremely popular sneaker line started to die down? Well, let's start by examining the actual appeal of a Yeezy. The first and most obvious reason is artist influence, which of course is Kanye. And I'm not going to get into whether you like Kanye or don't like Kanye. That doesn't really matter for this particular video. What does matter though is that no matter what you think about Kanye, he has a huge influence on sneaker culture and sneaker sales. The second reason Yeezys are so appealing is because of the limited quantity made and also the difficulty to actually get a pair. And then the third reason is, of course, design. Now, it's arguable that design doesn't always affect hype because, for example, when the 750s first released, people said that they looked like Uggs, and even though there seemed to be a lot more people who didn't like the way the sneaker looked at first glance, it still sold out. I've always loved this sneaker, but that could just be me. Maybe I just love the look of Uggs. I don't really know. But with that being said, when Kanye first came from Nike to Adidas, one of the biggest talking points behind his sneakers was the overall aesthetic and how sort of different and out there they looked. And if you look back at the original Yeezy releases, we had like 4 colorways of the 750s, we had 4 colorways of the 350 V1s, and they never really got old. They were never really overdone. But now, 3 years after the first Adidas Yeezy release, we've already had 15 colorways of the 350 V2, 4 colorways of the 500, which, let's be honest, 3 of them look exactly the same, and 3 colorways of the 700. And these are all silhouettes that have just been released in the last 2 years. So what's my point? Well, as you can probably tell from the title of the video, I think Yeezys are getting boring. I think they're getting played out. Now, I know people in the comment section have already started smashing their keyboards saying, Kanye promised us all Yeezys. He promised everyone who wanted a pair of Yeezys can get a pair of Yeezys. That's fine. That doesn't matter. That's not what I'm talking about. My point is, rather than giving us a million different colorways and just saturating the release calendar, maybe give us 4 colorways a year, make a couple of them extreme GRs and 2 of them more limited, so that you maintain the hype and the people who want Yeezys can get the more common colorways. Because at the end of the day, hype is driven by supply and demand. Hype is when there's so much demand for something and there really isn't too much supply. So if you start to cut down on the number of colorways releasing each year, you start to alleviate some of that fatigue that we've been having from releases every other weekend. And you can still make some of these releases extremely GR, so if you want to walk into a store and grab a pair, you can. But just have that one super limited, super sought after release so that there's still some hype behind the brand. Those are just my thoughts, only if the main goal of Adidas is trying to keep this brand hyped. If their main goal is to just cash out every other weekend, then that's what they're going to do, and that's probably what they're doing anyway. So in my opinion, that's one of the main reasons people are getting bored and sick of the Yeezy line, because of just the sheer number of Yeezy releases, and for that matter, restocks that we've been getting. And the other reason that I touched on at the beginning of the video is design. I think it's getting old. No matter how we feel about that many colorways being released for one specific silhouette, it does provide a very unique opportunity for designers. And that, of course, is the opportunity to experiment with colorways. And I've got to be honest, it doesn't really seem like they've been doing that. If you look at all the V2 colorways and all the 500 colorways in particular, there's not too much variation in color. Yes, there are a couple outliers like the McChicken Yellow Yeezys and the Beluga 1.0s, but when you look over the line as a whole, it's kind of similar. And honestly, looking at the future upcoming Yeezy colorways, we've just got more of the same. You've got the Yeezy 700 Inertia, which, you know, isn't a bad colorway, it's just kind of dull. You've got the Yeezy 700 Analog, which I think you guys can tell how similar that is to other Yeezy 700s. You've got the 350 V2 Hyperspace, which is just kind of another tan or brownish Yeezy. You've got the 350 V2 Clay. I don't know what else to say about that shoe. And then you've got the one Yeezy that's different, and that's because it's a brand new silhouette, the Yeezy Quantum basketball shoe. I don't hate most of the Yeezy colorways, but they're all just kind of boring and they're dull, and that seems like what they're gonna continue to do. And that kind of sucks. I think if Kanye and Adidas released a different variant even of one of their previous silhouettes, like the 350 V3, even if it's not that big of a change, it would still breathe life into the line. Or take it a different direction and give us some new colorways, something different, something to get us talking. Actually, to be honest, I want more 750 colorways, but I think the silhouette's dead, so don't think that's gonna happen. Regardless, the Yeezy line is a line that has tons of potential. 1, because it's tied to one of the most influential artists of the last decade. 2, because it was one of the most hyped and limited lines of the last couple years. and 3, because the designs were unique. But that's just my honest thoughts on the Yeezy line and why I think it's gotten boring. I definitely think they can revitalize this line by just changing a couple of things, but the question is, do they even want to? So now that I've given you my thoughts on this topic, I would love to know your thoughts, and I would love to know whether you're still even excited about Yeezys, and if you are, what about them gets you excited? So make sure to leave those comments in the comment section down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe down below if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.